I'm going to show you how to throw a fluted bowl. It's going to look something like this. Probably going to be bigger than this. I think I've got more clay this time. And one thing that I'm going to be using is this torch here. So if you probably don't have something like this, but you may have a regular little propane torch, and that'll work. It's not quite as effective, but it'll work. It helps speed it up. You don't really have to use a torch, but it makes it so you can do it in one sitting instead of waiting in between for it to set up. It helps to have clay that's fairly stiff. I've mentioned that before. A lot of people have written me and asked about throwing large with porcelain. And this is not very large, about 5 pounds of clay. I may have said that. But having the clay is a little stiffer helps than often is produced by the manufacturers of clay. I have mine made up special so that it will be a little stiffer. And it's not ridiculously stiff, but some of it's way too soft to throw effectively. It's especially true of porcelain. Just throw this up. I'm going to take most of the lip off. I don't want to pronounce the lip there. Just bring it out. And remove most of the throwing rings on the outside and the inside. The way that I do that is by double ribbing, taking 2 ribs. And this helps compress the clay, and also it removes all the water so it sits up real nicely. Stiffens the clay right up. So I use the rounded edge on the inside and the straight edge on the outside. And they're going to go together like this. It's really not very hard to do it. It seems like it would be, but it's pretty easy. I use this on particularly larger forms. Usually I don't use it on smaller forms, but in this case I need it to be kind of dry, so that it does help to dry it up. See, all that stuff that came off is slip, so it's got lots of water in it. See how wet that is? And same thing on the outside. This is a little drier. But now, I'm going to start the initial design just by taking my finger here, and I'm going to pull it up like that. I'm not going to do anything too radical to start with. I'm leaving about equal distance between each one of these fluted areas. As you come around, you kind of try to hit it right. I didn't hit it too well this time. So I can do a little better than that, but that's close enough. Okay, now I'm going to put my fingers on the area that I pulled up like that, put a thumb and a finger, and then do this to bring that out a little bit, bring a lip out. You can see me doing that. You see this one's quite a bit larger. I can kind of cheat and bring this one over a little bit and this other one over a little bit. And now they're pretty close. Okay, so I've gone all the way around there. Now I'm going to take my torch, start it up. You don't need to heat it up too long. Probably, well, it depends on the size of your torch and how high you have it, of course, but I'll do it about half a minute. That was more like 45 seconds. Okay. Now I'm going to go back and do this again. Pull up again, a little more pressure this time because the clay is set up a little bit. And again, you can do the same thing by just letting the clay sit around, especially if you live in an area where it's quite warm. But it's going to tend to want to flop, I think, with porcelain at least, if you push this too much without letting it sit up. Okay, now the next step is to go and, again, I'm going to put my fingers on the edge of this lip like this, one in each little area that I've dipped in, and then take the sponge and push out on it. This is what gives it a little bit of drama. So I'm really kind of bulging that out there. Instead of being just flat, it gives it much more curvature to the piece. Looks almost like a scallop shell. Push pretty hard now because the place is continuing to set up. I can feel the warmth coming in my fingers from the clay. It's not real hot, but it's warm. 3 or 4 times doing that, and it's still not done. I probably, let's set up fairly nicely. Okay, I'm going to go around again and push to that line again. You see, when I pull that line up, I've got my fingers on the inside and I'm pressing this finger in between them. So that's how I get this definite line there. So they ride up the same time, same motion. It's not very attractive. Okay, now I'm going to do the same thing again. Come put the 2 fingers here and press out with a sponge. I'll go around with that again, and that will probably about do it. A nice rounded curvature here. I want this inside to be scalloped as well, just similar to what the edge looks like. And I've spent a lot of time on these before, a lot more than I'm going to do on this piece. It depends on how radical you want to get with the design. I mean, you can really distort it quite a bit, and it's kind of fun, just really pushing out the bottom. Enough to be done. You know, it's best to wait until the thing is set up, even until after it's trimmed, to really clean it up. The nice thing about porcelain, it cleans up really nice with a sponge. Just give it a little wipe down wherever you see, you know, chunks of clay stuck on, like right there. Little, not chunks, but little lines of slip and things. So that's what it looks like on the outside, and that's what it looks like on the inside. So give it a try. Good luck. It's kind of a fun bowl and has a lot of movement to it. I like that. Let me know how you did. Bye.